Hi, this is Dr. Kevin, your portable pastor, with today's 5x5 Bible study on the book of Revelation, chapter 1. And really, we're only going to be doing a little bit of chapter 1 today and finish up next time. All right, before we get started with our Bible study today, I want to shout out to Danielle for your very thoughtful and your very insightful comments. Thanks, Danielle. Also, a number of you have commented that you can't wait until the weekend for another video to be posted. So thank you for your anticipation and that you like the videos. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and post a midweek video in addition to the weekend video so that we can double up on that and you can get some additional videos on Revelation, on Bible study, and even the different questions that I answer regarding social issues going on and how that relates to the Bible or Christianity. Okay? All right, so your portable pastor's got a lot to do, right? And thanks again for watching and liking and sharing. Now, let's get started with point number 1 on Revelation chapter 1. And really, what's going on is tribulation. And that's what we see in particular in the topic in verse 9 of chapter 1, which is tribulation. Now, apart from Revelation, and some have said they really don't believe in Revelation, but at least you'll believe in the Gospels. And in the Gospels, we find what is called the Little Apocalypse, which discusses tribulation in a bit more detail. And Jesus himself is the one holding those discussions. And so the little apocalypse we'll find in Matthew chapter 24, Mark chapter 13, and Luke chapter 21. And go ahead and review those before next time. We'll discuss that in a little bit today. Okay, our point number 2 is going to be what's important about tribulation. And why does tribulation happen? Well, it happens because first, as you know, Jesus dies and then rises again. And then he ascends to heaven and sends his Holy Spirit to be with those who believe in him and have accepted his saving grace. And the Holy Spirit gives those believers and those Christians power and authority to share the saving grace of Jesus Christ to others, to share the love of God to others, because there is a timeline on that. Jesus is returning. He's coming back. And so they've got a little bit of time in order to get the witness out and the good news out. It's because of that short period of time and because God's plan of love and salvation is being fulfilled on earth through the believers, why Satan attacks. The empire strikes back, and that's why we have tribulation. Luke, I am your father. That sounds like Yoda. That doesn't really sound like Darth Vader, but you get the point, right? The empire strikes back against God and his kingdom and against the Christians who are trying to share the good news of Jesus Christ, who are doing what Jesus says to do, right? Sharing the love of God to others. And so Satan strikes back and the empire strikes back. And that's why we have Revelation, and tribulation, and all of those troubles and all of those sufferings and oppression and the world systems which Satan controls and influences, attacking and trying to thwart God's plan of love here on earth before the coming of Christ. Now, our next point is going to be about the different schools of thought on Revelation and tribulation and how it's defined. Now, probably I'll go ahead in our midweek video and take care of these 4 in more detail. But the reason I think that many of us want to find out specifics and details and outline it very specifically is because we want to know the day or the hour. Even though Jesus says we're not going to know the day or the hour, we want to know. And if we want to know, what are we going to do with that information, right? Well, I think we want to know specifically so that we can do what we want until that specific day and time, right? And we see that happening in the little apocalypse as well. People are doing whatever until the time of Christ's coming and Christ's return. And so, say for example, January 1, 2050, we figure it out. That was the day of Christ's return. He's coming in the cloud in great power and in authority and in glory. And he comes, and yeah, we know that's January 1st, 2050. We would live, an insincere life towards God and towards others during that time. We do what we want to do and be insincere in our relationship with God and with other people. We'd also probably live very carelessly until that time. And then when December 31st comes about, and we know Christ is coming back the next day, and we know the world is about to end, and we need to get to heaven. Well, we are banging on the church door, for example, right? We're going to the church, maybe not just me, but everybody in the town, in the city, banging on the church door saying, yeah, let me in. I need to get my ticket to go to heaven. I need to be on that Jesus train to get to heaven because I don't want to go to the other place and the end of the world is near and, that's happening. Ah, well, my friends, that wise lady, Miss Brown, said it very well, right? Ain't nobody got time for that. Can you imagine that sort of home invasion, right? Can you imagine your own home that there are people banging on your door? You don't know who these people are, right? They don't have good intentions toward you. They just want to take advantage of you. You've got your family in there you're trying to protect. They're banging on your door, trying to get in, not only one or two people, but the whole city trying to get in to your house, bang on your door, trying to get through. You have no relationship with any of them. They don't know who you are either. You don't know who they are. And they want to cause you harm because they don't even like you or don't even like your children or your family. Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. Can you imagine how God must feel like that, right? People trying to bang on his door at the last minute to get into heaven, and they've hated him all this time, and they really don't know him or have relationship with him and don't like him. Yeah, that's not very nice, is it? So we can understand why God says that, I have my love, I'm giving you my love. If you accept my love, and if you have relationship with me, yeah, I know who you are. Then you can come into my house, right? And so that's probably the way it ought to work. Even we here on earth, yeah, we probably have those type of courtesies that we'd like to see others respect us as well, don't we? Okay, let's move on to our next point, point number 4. And point number 4, I'd like to take you back to a story when I was a child. And that refers to the little apocalypse, I should say first. So in the little apocalypse, we see the term stay awake, be alert, repeated, watch and pray, repeated over and over again. And as I said, that reminds me of a time when I was a child, and it was summer vacation. And in summer vacation, we're away from school, we're at home, and my grandmother used to take care of us during that time, and we're at home. My parents would give us instructions that, okay, or at least for me, I remember that, you ought to do certain chores, or you ought to memorize this particular Bible verse, or I needed to read these certain books, do something productive and occupy our time so that we're doing something good and productive during the day. Well, yeah, the next day I'm not really doing any of that. I'm up to no good, or I'm up to mischief, or I'm watching my cartoons, or I'm reading my comic books, doing what I want, playing my video games. And then you know what happens? When 6 o'clock approaches and I see that it's about time for my mom to come home, and she's about to come home, and then I'm cleaning something, or I'm reading that sentence in the Bible, or doing something, just trying to get it done before she comes home at 6 o'clock. Yeah, that usually doesn't work because it's half done, right? It's incomplete, and I'm not doing it in a sincere fashion. But here is the other point, and the main point I'd like to make to you, is that in all of this, I never really figured it out and got the picture that my father, my dad, he did not have a fixed work schedule from 9 to 5. And he came and went throughout the day, and he could come to the house and we didn't know that he was coming home. And that was the problem, wasn't it? Because when he would come, I would have nothing done. I would be up to no good, or being lackadaisical in my day and in my work. And yeah, that was problems. Those were problems, right? So that's the thing why Jesus says to watch and pray. Jesus says to be alert. Jesus says to stay awake, because we ought to be doing what he says we're to be doing until he comes, right? And he says that's the wise and faithful servant. The wise and faithful servant is the one doing what Jesus has asked us to do until his return and until his coming. And that leads us to our point 5, our final point, which is to watch and pray, my friends. Be alert, watch and pray, stay awake, and do as our master tells us to do until he comes, which is to share the good news and the love of Jesus Christ and our Father in heaven to others in this world. Okay, so if you have any questions on today's Bible study or any other topics, as you saw, some other topics in the social arena and in the theological arena, you are welcome to drop me a line at yourportablepastor@gmail.com, which is my email address, or you can post your questions here on YouTube, Some of you have my WhatsApp information. You can send it there. Oh, by the way, yeah, you can send it to my IM me on Instagram at Portable Pastor. And don't forget to send your photos, your smile photos with you and your new friends. Hashtag your smile for everyone. Hashtag your smile for everyone on Instagram, right? Yeah, that's something that we ought to remember as well. Okay, this is Dr. Kevin, your Portable Pastor of Portable Pastor LLC, blessing you with the spiritual fruit of faithfulness. See you next time.